Hello everyone, my name is Paul. In this video, we will be looking about the food safety ecosystem that is meant for the food safety examination that is going to be conducted by the Tamil Nadu Medical Recruitment Board. So, in this video, I have decided to cover the Food Safety and Standards Regulation 2011. In that, I have decided to take the licensing and registration part. This licensing and registration part is not completed in this video. I have tried to cover the utmost important points, and still there are left out. I will try to cover it in the coming days. So now let's get in the video. First we will look at some of the important definitions that are needed for further understanding of the subject. Okay, so first let us look about certain standard definitions which will be coming throughout the FSSI, that is the whole FSSI regulations 2011 will be having these definitions as the common definitions. So you need to by heart or learn these definitions. So first is Central Licensing Authority. What is a Central Licensing Authority? Central Licensing Authority is something like a designated officer who is appointed by the Chief Executive Officer, that is the CEO of the FSSI, in his capacity of Food Commissioner. Since he is a Food Commissioner, he is appointing the designated officer as a Central Licensing Authority. Please remember this thing. I will be giving designated officer as DO. Please kindly consider this thing. In the future slides, I will be mentioning designated officer as DO and Chief Executive Officer as CEO, and so this thing is Central Licensing Authority is a designated officer appointed by the CEO of FSSI. The next is Licensing Authority. A licensing authority, he is also a designated designated officer who is appointed under section 36(1) of the Act. So here we need to remember this one, section 36(1). This might be coming in the form of MCQs. So they might be asking, licensing authority is appointed under which section of FSSI? So the answer is section 36. Section 36 of the Act, by the Commissioner of Food Safety of the state or by CEO of FSSI in his capacity of Food Safety Commissioner. Okay, so kindly try to remember this one, that is section 36(1). So licensing authority is appointed under the section 36(1) of the Act by the Commissioner of Food Safety of the state, otherwise by the central government, that is the CEO of FSSI. Okay, the next is registering authority. The registering authority is a food safety officer or any official. He might be from panchayat or municipal corporation. This is in the district level. In the state level, the registering authority will be there. Someone who is a food safety officer might be appointed as a registering authority, or someone from official from panchayat board or municipal corporation or the local body. So the state government will decide upon that. State Food Safety Commission will be deciding upon who will be the registering authority for this purpose. So kindly remember these three things: Central Licensing Authority, because in the future we need to know what is the function of Central Licensing Authority. So at that time we need to know what is a Central Licensing Authority and who is appointing that Central Licensing Authority. In the same way, Licensing Authority and Registering Authority. Okay, so then next thing, the State Licensing Authority. The State Licensing Authority is a designated officer. He is appointed under section 36(1). It's also similar to that, to the previous one which you have seen in the previous slide. He is also a designated officer appointed under section 36(1) of the Act by the Food Safety Commissioner of a state or union territory. This also comes under the same section. Please remember the section. It is 36(1) of the Act by the Food Safety Commissioner. Okay. The next is petty food manufacturer. Who is a petty food manufacturer? Because in the following slides we'll be looking about who is a petty food manufacturer and what are the conditions required for him to register himself as a petty food manufacturer. So first we need to know who is a petty food manufacturer. The petty food manufacturer is someone who sells any article or food himself. He is like a small shop owner, like a petty retailer, a hawker, or something like an itinerant vendor. Okay, then he might be a temporary stall holder. Okay, he might be putting up for some festivals. He might not be there for the whole period of time, but he might be there during some seasons or during some particular time. So he also comes under the category of petty food manufacturer, or he distributes foods including in any religious or social gathering. Yeah, as I told, he might be there for temporary time. So when his business picks up, he might be there. Other time he might not be there. So you need these people come under the category of petty food manufacturer. Okay. Then another thing is the production capacity of a petty food manufacturer, it will not be more than 100 kg. is designated by the FSSC. His production capacity should not be more than 100 kg per day or 100 liters. If he is selling some kind of beverages or some kind of soft drinks, so his capacity should not exceed 100 liters per day. Please remember these three things, and more also to identify a petty food manufacturer. Then next is licensing and registration. While coming to licensing and registrations, you need to know about certain schedules. Okay, these schedules, in the schedule they will be deciding which schedule deals with what function. So you need to learn about these schedules. Okay, this schedule 1, it deals with the food business falling under the purview of Central Licensing Authority. So if in a MCQ or true or false, they might be asking schedule 1 deals with food business falling under Central Licensing Authority, so it's a true. Okay, so they might be asking in MCQ like schedule 1 deals with, and they might be giving some 4 options. So in that case you need to tick down, that is schedule 1, it deals with food business falling under the purview of Central Licensing Authority. Okay, then next is schedule 2, it deals with application for registration under FSS Act. So if someone, a food business operator, is going to file some application, he need to register himself as a petty food manufacturer, so that thing will be dealt by the schedule 2 of the Food Safety Standards Act. Then next is schedule 3, it deals with the fees for grant or renewal of license. So if there someone is registering himself with FSSC, so they need to be paying fees. So this schedule 3 actually deals with the fees or grant of license or renewal of license or regiving fresh license. These things will be dealt under schedule 3. So schedule 4, and the schedule 4 deals with general hygienic and sanitary practices to be followed by the food business operator. A food business operator is one who is the owner of a institution or organization or whatever, who deals with food business. He is the food business operator. So please remember these 4 schedules. This will be very much important for the next slides to come. This is very much important in the licensing and the registration, okay, category. Okay, then next is the petty food business operator. He need to fill the form A under schedule 2 along with fee as provided in the schedule 3 for registration. So here we need to look what are the things that the petty food manufacturer should do in order to incorporate himself with the FSSC. So these things that I have marked in red, no, so please kindly remember those things, because they might be coming under MCQs. So they might be asking under which section, under which schedule he need to fill the form under schedule 2. So his fee should be provided under schedule 3 for registration. This is what I had told in the previous slide also. In the previous slide, as you know, in the previous slide I had told that schedule 2 deals with the rules, and schedule 3 for fees. So please refer to that also. And the schedule 4 deals with the basic hygiene and safety procedures. This is same. Then next is, it should provide a self-attested declaration. I mean, the petty food business operator, he should provide a self-attested declaration of adherence to those requirements with application in the format provided in the Annexure 1 under schedule 2. Okay, he needs to provide a self-attested declaration of adherence to this requirement. Whatever requirement they have given in the schedule 4, that is a safety requirement, basic hygiene requirement, and along with the schedule 2 requirement, schedule 3 requirement, everything will be given in the application, and he need to give a self-attested declaration. That is a petty food business operator, and that's provided in the Annexure 1 under schedule 2. So here please try to remember these schedules. These schedules are very much important. So they might be asking in MCQs. So when this licensing and registration comes, so what are the things that a petty food business operator will be dealing with? Under what schedule he need to pay fees? Under what schedule he need to register himself? So please remember these schedules. The next is, the registering authority shall consider the application and may either grant registration or reject it within 7 days of receipt of an application. So say a petty food business operator is applying for a license or something like an registering himself with the FSSC. So they might be granting him registration or rejecting it, and there's a particular time period for that. The time period is 7 days. Within 7 days they will be either accepting his application if everything goes by. I mean, if everything is proper, they will be accepting his application within 7 days, or either they need to reject his application within a period of 7 days. Please note, the time period is 7 days, and they, if in case they have rejected his application, they need to give a proper response for that. I mean, they need to give it in a proper way why they have rejected his application. They might be giving in record, or they might be giving in writing the reason for rejection of his application. Okay. Then next is, and then they have ordered an inspection. Says some FSSC, the officers need inspection of the plant or a certain area of the person who is applying. That is a food business operator who is applying for a license. So if the officials feel that they need to inspect, then the registration may be granted as given in the part 2 of schedule 4. So this part 2 schedule 4, it deals with actually the hygiene procedures and safety procedures that a food business operator need to coordinate with. Okay, so according to that, within a period of 30 days, if an inspection is ordered, and in that case they will be giving the registration within a period of 30 days. And these things, I mean, under what sections, under what are the safety and hygiene procedures they need to deal with, it is in the schedule 4, and they need to complete it within a period of 30 days. Okay, in the above said scenario, like if some inspection is ordered, the registering authority needs to satisfy themselves of the safety, hygiene and sanitary condition of the premises. So the officials have gone there, food safety officials have gone there, and they need to give check the food business operator premises, and they need to first satisfy themselves that the food business operator is doing everything well. I mean, his premises is clean, and he has followed all the standards as per the schedule 4. So in case they are satisfied themselves that the food business operator had followed all the policies and followed all the rules as mentioned in the schedule 4, and they can go ahead with providing him certification. Okay, the next thing is, this condition is usually for all the food business operator, but there are certain restriction also. Say for example, someone is a milk producer, and in village level someone is a milk producer, and he is a member of the dairy, that is a cooperative society registered with the Cooperative Societies Act. Okay, so if he supplies or sells the entire milk to society, that is cooperative society, so he is given exemption from food safety inspection by the registering authority. So there are conditions also. He need to supply or sell his entire milk to the society. Then in that case he is exempted from inspection. He is exempted from the food safety inspection by the registering authority, but at the same time he need to coordinate with these conditions also. He should be a registered member, and at the same time he should sell his entire produce of milk to the society also. Okay. The next thing is, no individual is allowed to carry out food business unless he possesses a valid license. Okay, the rule says that no individual person or whomsoever is allowed to carry out food business, whatever food business, unless he possesses a valid license for doing so. So what it says is that whoever is starting a food business, they need to have a proper license. They need to properly apply for that, and they need to get a proper license duly certified by the state food safety or the FSSI, whatever. And it is mentioned in the regulation of 2.1.1. Here we need to note that regulation also, under which one says that no individual is, so which regulation, so there might be a question like which regulation says that no individual is allowed to carry out food business unless he possesses a valid license. So that regulation is 2.1.1. Please remember the regulation also, it's a 2.1.1. Okay. Then the safety requirements for carrying out food business mentioned schedule 4. Yeah, we have seen that already. The safety requirement is mentioned in the schedule 4. Okay. Then other things are also there, like schedule 1, schedule 2, schedule 3. As I mentioned in the first slide, schedule 1 comes under the purview of Central Licensing Authority, and schedule 2 the rules for the application, and schedule 3 it deals with the renewal of the license. Please look into these schedules. These schedules are very much important. Next thing is, no individual is allowed to manufacture, import, sell, stock or exhibit the food that is subjected to radiation. Okay, the thing given here is there are certain foods that are irradiated. Okay, irradiation by the property of the gamma rays, alpha, beta, gamma rays, whatever rays, they are irradiating the food product. The reason for doing so is that to enhance the shelf life or kill the microorganism or whatever. And what the rule says, what the law says is that no individual is allowed to manufacture, import, sell, stock, exhibit the food that is subjected to radiation. So they can't do so because that might be harmful for humans. So humans or animals. So no individual is allowed to manufacture, import, sell, stock, or exhibit the food that is subjected to irradiation. Okay, there is a general law in our country set by the FSSI. Next thing is that the individual is allowed to trade in irradiated foods if he has obtained a license from Department of Atomic Energy. Okay, there's an a government organization called Department of Atomic Energy which deals with these irradiated foods. Okay, so in case an individual wants to trade, like if he wants to import sell or stock of irradiated food, he needs to get permission from the Department of Atomic Energy. Okay, the officials will be providing them with a license. They will be checking the premises of the person, that is food business operator, who is dealing with the irradiated foods, and they will be granting them license to trade with irradiated foods. So they might be setting some conditions. This Department of Atomic Energy might be setting some conditions for there is a dosage of radiation that should be supplied to food. So if they are regulated, they can deal with the irradiated foods. The thing is that without license, a person cannot deal with irradiated foods. Next thing is, a license is provided to the FBO by the licensing authority within a period of 60 days from the date of issue of an application ID number. Okay, suppose a food business operator, if someone is applying for a license, okay, a license should be applied, I mean it should be given to the food business operator within 60 days of issue of an application ID number. The thing is that a food business operator, he is going for an application, and the FSSI in return it will be providing the food business operator with an ID number. So after 60 days, within the period of 60 days after giving a ID number, the licensing authority should be giving the license to the food business operator. Okay, please here note the time period, that is within a period of 60 days. Please note that. Okay, a single license may be issued by the licensing authority for one or more articles of food, and also for different establishments or premises in the same area. Okay, a single license, suppose say a food business operator is there, and he's having 2 or 3 business within a area of 2 kilometers. He might be having 2 or 3 more business. He may, in a place he might be selling some bakery items. In the next area he might be selling some beverages or something like that. So in that case, a single license, what they are telling is that a single license may be issued by the licensing authority for one or more articles of food, and also for different establishments or premises in the same local area. Okay, that is also possible. A single license is also possible for one or more articles of food within a particular area. That is also possible. Next thing is the food business operator, there is a FPO. He may choose the validity of the license if not specified by the licensing authority for a period of 1 to 5 years from the date of registration. Usually the thing is that the licensing authority, there is a FSSI, they will be giving the validity of the license. So if they have not given specified, the food business operator, he may choose the validity from a period of 1 to 5 years from the date of registration. Okay, please note that. Next thing is the food business operator, he should not continue to operate beyond 30 days from the date of expiry of registration or license. Okay, so someone has got a license, and say that it is going to end today. Okay, it is going to end today. There is November 30. So he should not operate after December 30. So the thing is that he is not allowed to operate his food business after expiry, beyond 30 days from the date of expiry of the registration of our license. The next thing is that the food business operator should apply for renewal of registration. I mean, he should apply for renewal of his license, that is 30 days prior to the expiry date. Suppose say a food business operator is there, and his license is going to expire today, that is November 30. So but he has to apply for his license before 1 month itself, that is prior to 30 days he need to apply for license before the date of expiry. That is, he should start before October 30 itself. Okay, please note that. Please note the dates. There is a please note the time period. A time period required for renewal of license, and how much time he could operate after expiry. Those things please note. The FBO needs to, there is a food business operator, he needs to apply for a fresh license. In case say his license has expired and he did not renew, and in case he wants to operate again, he need to get a fresh license. He need to go from the beginning. That is a thing. Another thing is that suppose a food business operator is there, and he had died due to some reasons, and he is a holder of registration. In that case, he is a food business operator who is a holder of license. Okay, so in case of his death, it could be transferred to the legal representative, someone or his family member. There are also certain conditions that they might be giving for the transfer of his license. They are like some 90 days after the death of that person. They need to fulfill certain conditions, but I have given only overall thing. The thing what I need to mention is that could be transferred, that the license could be transferred to his family member or the representative. Another thing is that, next point, all the food business operator license need to file return on or before 31st May of each year. So each year, whatever the food business operator, the people who are having licenses, to carry out a food business operation, they need to file return on or before 31st of May of each year. There is a deadline. They need to file before 31st May of each year. They need to file return every year. They need to do that. They need to submit the return electronically or in physical form as per form D1 provided in schedule 2. Okay, so that's why I told you need to remember these schedules. I had told in the first slide that you need to remember this schedule for this reason. So here they are telling that you need to electronically submit the return in as per schedule 2. So here you need to know what is schedule 2. Then only it will be easy for you to remember. So please remember these schedules. So they need to submit the return electronically or physical form as per form D1 provided in schedule 2. Okay, the class of food products handled by FBO, food business, or that is food business during the previous financial year should be mentioned in the return. So they need to mention what kind of food products they handled during the previous entire year. They need to mention that in the return which they are going to file on 31st of May. Okay, a separate return should be filed by the FBO for every license issued under regulation. So say a food business operator has some 4 or 5 licenses. So for every license he is holding, you need to file a separate return. Okay, so the same individual, if he is having a 3 or 4 license, he need to submit return for each and every license that he is holding. Then another thing is that so in case a food business operator has not filed his return even after the deadline, that is 31st of May of each year, then he need to pay a penalty of 100 per day. From the next day onwards, he need to pay for how much delay he is making. For example, if he has delayed for another 10 days, so in that case he need to pay a fine of ₹1000 while he is filing his return. Okay, the DO is appointed by the Commissioner of Food Safety. Okay, the DO, there is a designated officer. This thing we have seen in this slide 2 or 3, I think so. This is a designated officer. DO again is designated officer, is appointed by the Commissioner of Food Safety. Please remember, he is appointed by the Commissioner of Food Safety, designated officer, as per the regulation 1.2.1 under section 2. Please note this, it's very important. These regulations are very important. Regulations are important, schedules are important. Please remember that. They are given under the designated officer is appointed by Commissioner of Food Safety as per regulation 1.2.1 under section 2. Next thing is the designated officer is responsible for the food safety at the district level. So this designated officer is a person who operates in the district level. Okay, so he will be responsible for the food safety issues, whatever happening in the district level. This designated officer is responsible. Okay, so I have summed up to these things. Even though I have not completed this licensing and registration, even though more it's a vast topic, I try to cover only important points. So you could give your suggestions, whatever, in the comment box. I'll try to cover the rest in the future slides in the coming day to the best of my level possible. Okay, thanks for watching.